before you look.
First of all, I'm going to talk about Bob Fosse. Bob Fosse was born in 1927 into a performing arts family where he hit the stage at a young age. By his early teens, he was brought up in a low-end burlesque house where he could closely observe the sexiness that became part of his dance signature. Receiving formal training from local dance teachers and the Frederick Weaver Ballet School, Fosse went on and used this training as part of the performing duo, the Riff Brothers, when he was 13. After graduating from high school, he entered the Navy, furthering his craft while serving his country in an entertainment unit. After the end of World War I, he found his way to Broadway and was in Call Me Mister in 1947. His style. His choreographic style came from his life experiences and musical tastes, but also from his own physical quirks and limitations. Fosse didn't like his balding head, so he always wore his trademark hats. He was slightly round-shouldered, so he used the shrugs in his piece. And he had pigeon toes, which, when you watch his pieces, he likes to have turned-in feet. In my opinion, I feel like it works in the way he uses it with the dancers, and because he can relate to the context it is in, and it's his own style, so it's like unique to him, and it's very noticeable. Influences. Fosse was an innovative choreographer and had multiple achievements in his life. For the Yankees, he took a great deal of inspiration from the father of theatrical jazz dance, Jack Cole. He also took influence from Jerome Robbins, who we'll be talking about later. New Girl in Town gave Fosse the inspiration to direct and choreograph his next piece because of the conflict of interest within the collaborators. During that piece, Redhead, the first he had directed as well as choreographed, Fosse utilised one of the first ballet sequences in a show that contained 5 different styles of dance, which was Fosse's jazz, a can-can, a gypsy dance, a march, and an old-fashioned English music hall number. Jerome Robbins. Jerome Robbins was an American theatre producer, director and choreographer known primarily for Broadway theatre and ballet, but he also occasionally directed films and television. His work ranged from classical ballet to contemporary musical theatre. His career started off as a gifted ballet dancer, which developed with the ballet theatre, where he danced with special distinction. His work is characterised by the intensity and compactness of its expressions and its wide variety of mood. He had the ability to make the most complex movement appear effortless and totally reflective of the musical score, as if it were created spontaneously for that exact moment in time. Jerome started off his life as a young ballet dancer. It is unsure where he trained exactly, but he decided that there was a gap within Broadway he could incorporate ballet within. Style. Jerome Robbins bridged the gap between Broadway and ballet, as I said. In my opinion, I feel like he managed to do this successfully, as it shows in West Side Story. There are using many different ballet moves, but is still enjoyable to watch. It also showed that even though ballet is all about technique, he wanted people to dance freely, which again, in my opinion, I feel like it worked within Broadway, as people want to be entertained instead of watching something full of technique. He also managed to create pieces which showed a story within. The way that he got the dancers to move helped create the story within emotions that he got out of them. He could give them a move and managed to get each individual to show different emotion that is believable to the audience. He doesn't have a specific ballet move that he uses, but he uses every part of ballet as they are important as the rest. Influences. His influence was George someone.
Balanchine.
He was a Russian-born American choreographer, and he formed and established the classical style of contemporary ballet in America. His choreography emphasized form rather than content, technique rather than interpretation. He is regarded as the foremost contemporary choreographer in the world of ballet and came to the United States in late 1933 following an early career throughout Europe. His choreography was not tied to the virtuosity of a ballerina, the plot or the decor, but pure to the dance. The drama was in dance and the movement was slowly related to the music, a perfect dance equivalent to music. This is what influenced Jerome Robbins to use ballet within his choreography of Broadway shows. He saw that it could be done and decided that it could be a new popular style to bring into its Broadway shows. And then this is the one that I did for my style study, choreography. Ignite the Dark. It was founded in 2010 by artistic directors Alfie Scalia and Daniel Ryan. It is a concept of dance theatre company designed around the premise of performance being designed around narrative and meaning while still using dance as a driving force behind the interpretation of complex themes. Each performance commences construction from written work, whether in a script or poem. From this sound, the look and all above the pacing of movement is formulated. They believe dance is a powerful storytelling device and look to demonstrate the brand new and innovative rubbish entertainment that can speak for a range of audiences from young adults through to older, more refined tastes. This is a quote that they put on their website. All art must have a form of story behind it, whether that can be to inform a situation, create or discuss a mood or feeling, convey a message, create an experience, or simply to entertain. Of course, none of these points are mutually exclusive. For Ignite the Dark, dance is connective that links and informs our stories. Their influences were Bob Fosse. He was a very, very big influence on the company's style of dance and even the typical costumes. Like for Bob Fosse, as I said, he didn't like his head balding, so he wore hats. So they did that as well, and they often tilted it like Fosse to create a statement out of it. And the women in Fosse number uses sexuality and try and carefully plan the movements to suit it, just like they have for Ignite the Dark. They use the sexy red dress to symbolise it, and they use loads of hip movements and everything. While many dancers strive to create long, lean lines, Fosse preferred angles. This might be accomplished with a turning in the knee or a jutting hip. Isolated movements are another hallmark of Fosse style. Dancers might move in just a hand and then a shoulder. And then my plans for my signature work. I want it to be narrative, like Fosse and Ignite the Dark did. They used a story within it to tell it. I want to use a motif so that people can recognise what it is and they can see what it is. I want to use characters like Fosse does quite a lot. He uses a character so that people can understand the story even more. And I want to use a human voice as well as composed music just to get the raw emotion through into it.
Okay, thank you.